Doctor, isn't it true that if this patient was diagnosed with cancer earlier, she would not have needed chemotherapy? Would you like to learn what this is about? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. So here's the scenario. It's a failure to diagnose lung cancer case. And now I have an opportunity to question the doctor during his question and answer session in the lawsuit known as a deposition. And one of the key areas I'm going to focus on is, how would your treatment have been different if this condition was diagnosed earlier in time? So here's what I would typically ask. Doctor, at this point in time, the patient's been diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic lung cancer. True? Yes. And that is the most severe type of advanced metastatic cancer, correct? Yes. It means that the cancer has now spread beyond the lungs, correct? In fact, her prognosis is very dim. Isn't that true? Yes. The patient now has a very limited life expectancy. Isn't that correct? Yes. All right, doctor. Now, if the patient had been diagnosed when her condition was stage 1, wouldn't you agree that her prognosis would be significantly better than it is now at stage 4? Yes, I would. And isn't it true, doctor, that a patient with stage 1 lung cancer, there are different treatments, different modalities that can be used that will help treat the patient and try and eliminate the cancer? Isn't that true? Yes. And one of those treatments involves surgical excision, going in and surgically removing that section of the area that's cancerous. Isn't that true? Yes. And with stage 1 cancer, that's typically localized to a particular area of the lung. Isn't that correct? Yes. And doctor, a patient who is treated at stage 1 has a much better outcome, much better likelihood of prognosis than obviously somebody who's diagnosed with stage 3 or stage 4. Isn't that true? Yes. And isn't it also true, doctor, that a patient diagnosed with stage 1 lung cancer will not need chemotherapy to treat this condition? Yes, it is. In all likelihood, the surgical removal of that localized tumor will be sufficient, and the patient will not need what's known as adjuvant therapy, such as chemotherapy or radiation therapy. Isn't that true? Yes. Well, now the doctor may start to argue with me about the specific type of cancer and whether or not chemotherapy or radiation therapy might be necessary. But the bottom line is, I will go ahead and ask the doctor key questions about how treatment would be different, because that's important to show to a jury later on at trial. So why do I share this great information with you? I share with you to give you an insight and an understanding into how these failure to diagnose malpractice cases work here in the state of New York. You know, I realize you're watching this because you have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter happened here in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. This is something I do every single day, and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.